Good morning everyone. Welcome to this webinar about the Springboard Women's Development Programme. I'm going to be talking to you about the programme and specifically about the Springboard programme that I'll be running in Oxford starting in April. My name is Valerie Fawcett and I've been running Springboard courses for many years after being trained by the developers of the programme, Liz Willis and Jenny Daisley. I've run Springboard in a wide variety of organisations and hundreds of women have participated in my open courses in Oxford. Those of you who are listening live can type in questions during the webinar and I will answer them in the questions slot, which should come in about 15 minutes time. I estimate that the whole webinar will take between 20 and 30 minutes depending on how many questions we have. What is Springboard? Springboard is a 3-month personal and career development programme specifically developed and written for women. It provides women with the opportunity to assess their skills, their experience, their qualities and values, and their confidence levels to make changes in their working and personal lives. Each woman sets her own agenda for what is most important for her. It was designed for women in pilot groups of women working in a variety of organisations. And it was found through that there were specific ways that these women found it most useful to work on the topics of personal development that Springboard encompasses. Pilot groups of men have also been through the process of working on these topics, and Springboard has now developed a men's programme called Navigator, which is very similar but just has a slightly different approach because the research did show that there seemed to be a gender difference in the way that men and women approach these topics. As a participant, you have particular objectives. Those objectives are mainly to take clear, practical, realistic steps to take more control over your life in whatever area of your life is important to you. To find out what you value and to make decisions and take action based on your values. Unfulfilled values suggest that you have goals that you'd like to set. And values are relevant not only to your personal life but also to your career. If you go to a career management specialist or a career counsellor, they will start with what's important to you. So values are an important feature of personal development. A few facts for you about the Springboard programme. The developers of the programme, Liz Willis and Jenny Daisley, you can see them there, and they are two of the foremost women's development specialists in the UK. Springboard itself is a winner of a National Training Award, and that's no mean feat. It won a National Training Award as a mark of its excellence in its effectiveness. Springboard was originally commissioned by the BBC, but it's now been run in all kinds of organisations in the UK and indeed around the world. Over 180,000 women have been through Springboard programmes. And the programme is regularly updated, but I have to say that the core of it has always remained relevant. It's designed for all women, whatever your age, whatever your lifestyle, with some work experience, but below senior management level. So if you are working in a non-management role or a junior management role, or indeed if you're not working at all at the moment outside the home, then Springboard is relevant for you. These are just some basic information about Springboard in Oxford this year. The dates: we start with workshop 1 on Monday the 15th of April. The other workshops are spaced at 4 to 5 week intervals to enable you to make progress and to work through the workbook, which I'll tell you about in a moment. And we finish on Friday the 5th of July. The venue is Wolfson College, which I've used a number of times before. They have a very nice room that we use, and they provide us with some excellent refreshments as well. I will be delivering the program personally, so I'm the person you need to speak to if you want to discuss anything further about the program after this webinar. What does Springboard consist of? It consists of a number of different features. There are 4 one-day workshops, as you know, spread over the 3 months of the program, and those workshops dovetail with a 300-page workbook, the cover of which you can see on the right side of the screen there. That workbook is what you work through in between the workshops. I give you a thorough introduction to it in the first workshop. And the people who get the most out of Springboard are those who do as much as they can in the workbook. The workbook is helping you to look at yourself. You don't have to share anything that you put in the workbook with others on the program, although there are opportunities to discuss, and that is a part of the program. What goes into your workbook stays private to you. Although it is an important part of the program, it's important to realise that if you do find that you haven't been able to do everything that I've asked you to do in the workbook, it needn't stop you coming to workshops. You can still benefit from the workshops, even if you haven't finished what we've asked you to do in the workbook. And indeed, the workbook is yours. You keep it so you can go back to it and finish off things that you didn't finish, and people have told me that they regularly do that. People will also pick up the workbook a year down the line and look at it again, and indeed many of the benefits of Springboard come up to a year after people have been on the program. Another feature is a support system. In the first workshop we will set up buddy coaching partnerships, and that means that you join up with 1, 2 or 3 of your colleagues on the program, and you agree between you to be in touch once between workshops, and you can decide whether you meet, whether you're on the phone, whether you email. It's up to you, but it's simply to help you keep the momentum going, see how others are doing. Networking is a feature of the program. We use networking in the program by sharing experiences, and we also learn about how to use network outside the program. And then lastly, a main feature of the program is role models. In the Springboard book you will find at the end of each chapter there is a profile of a woman and what she's done in her life and how she comes to be doing what she's currently doing. She talks also about her private life, and also on the workshops I will have one role model speaker come to each workshop. I choose people from a variety of different working roles, different ages, different backgrounds, and that is usually a popular part of the program. What about the topics that form the content of the program? Well, these are some of the main ones. We kick off with what have you got going for you. We all have a lot going for us already. Women often don't recognise how much they've got going for them already that they can make use of in taking themselves forward and changing what they want to change about their life and work. Part of that is assessing your skills, your values, your qualities, your strengths and weaknesses. And for example, one of the things we do on Springboard in the workbook is a skills audit. You fill out a detailed questionnaire about your skills, and you also get someone else to fill it out for you. This helps to lead you into the setting of goals, and we show you some different approaches to setting goals. But you are asked then to set some goals, however small or large, in whatever area of your life. And then the second half of the program is focused on how we achieve goals. Building confidence is dealt with in a number of ways on Springboard. It's a key motivator for some people in coming on the program and a key benefit that people have pointed out. We use cognitive behavioural techniques, we address specific issues of confidence over time, and the other things that we do have a side effect of helping to build confidence. I've already mentioned that we use networking and we teach about networking on the program. So we're helping you to make use of networking and showing its importance outside the program. And indeed, some Springboard groups have carried on networking together for quite a long time after the program. That's entirely voluntary. It's entirely up to you whether you continue to meet with your colleagues on the program afterwards, but some groups have found it very supportive. Promoting a positive image. We all project an image to the world, but is it the one that does us justice? And so we help you to think about your own image, to get feedback from others, and to think about how you can change your image to do you justice. It's also true that it's important not to wait for someone else to help you to do what you want to do. You need to take the initiative yourself. And so we look at different ways that we can help you to take the initiative and to think about how to do it and make things work for you. Emotional intelligence is important because how your emotions affect you and how they influence your attitudes and indeed your behavior is very important self-awareness. Thinking outside the box and moving outside the box is difficult to do if you're not aware of your own box. So emotional intelligence, understanding yourself, managing your emotions, and also understanding others' emotions are important. We get into emotional habits and emotional ruts just as we get into thinking habits and ruts, but we can get out of them. Managing pressure. We have a whole chapter on resilience and managing stress in the workbook, and that is something which often people find help with on this program. We're all now living and working in a very changing world, and we need to be able to be flexible to change. Assertive communication is one of the first things I learned about which helped me in my own personal development. It's essential to achieving goals and to building confidence. If you are being assertive with others and as well as being assertive with yourself, then you will help you to build confidence. Work-life balance. As we've said, this is a holistic program. It's about your personal life and your working life. So Springboard is a good opportunity for working out what you want from work-life balance and how to make it happen for you. So, what do people say about the program? I have lots of testimonials from people who've been on Springboard programs. I've picked 4 from people who've been on the Oxford Open program, and I've picked them for particular reasons. The first one, it made me realise that I have a lot more to contribute than I actually do. This only became apparent when I had committed my thoughts to paper and thought about myself. And I picked this one because I think it shows what Springboard helps with particularly, which is that in discussing with others what you're willing to discuss, and also then writing down in the workbook what you want to achieve, you have to organise your thoughts, you have to evaluate your thoughts, and you have to decide whether it's something that you really do want to do and are committed to doing. And therefore that talking and thinking process and then writing things down in itself helps you to sort out what development you want to have for yourself. So even if at the moment you're just thinking about Springboard, you're not sure what you would get out of it, but there is just this thought, well, yes, I do want to develop myself, I do want to do more, I think I'm capable of more or something different, then the Springboard process is designed to help you to define what that is as well as to achieve it. The second one, I've learnt how to recognise my skills and use them to advantage. So this is about really making the most of your skills and being clear about what they are. Sometimes people say, well, that's just part of my job, and really they are discounting very often their own qualities and skills, and it's being able to bring those into conscious awareness and make use of them which can help people to make the changes they want. And by the way, not everyone decides to make big changes in going through Springboard. Very often people come with a particular aim, like maybe changing their job, and find that actually it's other things that they need to change, and they're really in the right job. So we have as many people who do that as those who then move on into a different job. But this is, for organisations, a way of identifying talent, helping people to recognise their skills and realise that they can move on higher in the organisation if they want to. Thirdly, I've noticed a difference in people's perception of me already, and that is part of the promoting a positive image, but also the things that you then do in taking initiative, in being assertive, are noticed by others, and that's something that people regularly feed back on. And lastly, the group reassembling with signs of progress was hugely encouraging. A big strength of the Springboard programme is that it's spread over 3 months, that you come back to workshops, you're motivated to then talk about what you've been able to do or to get support for what you haven't been able to do, and hearing about other people's progress is hugely encouraging to you personally. We have some results of a 10-year survey of participants who've been through Springboard, and I'm just going to give you a few highlights of those before then giving you a chance to answer some questions. Participants in Springboard have shown that they are more open to change, have a more positive attitude, are more effective at work, have better customer relations, are better at problem solving, and take more responsibility for their own development. So if anybody has had any doubt about why their organisation or employer might be interested in running Springboard, or in taking places on the open programme, as so many organisations have done in the past, then I think those results can show you how this benefits the organisation that you work for. And if anybody wants to read the full research survey, that is available on the website at the URL I'll be giving you in a moment. In the 10-year survey, the most strongly rated items were having a more positive attitude, and you can see that the purple part of the bar also shows you the percentage of people who rated that most highly, but 83.5% of people said that they had a more positive attitude, more open to change, taking more responsibility, and interestingly, participating in meetings. This seems to be something that quite a few people bring to Springboard as something they'd like to do more. And you can see that 77% of people have said that after Springboard they do participate more. This question, again, just a sample question that people are asked. Since attending the programme, are you taking control, keeping personal development plans? I'll just let you look down those things that people have said that they are doing more of. And some of the other questions ask people to show that they have clear evidence of the things that they're saying they have improved on since doing Springboard. As I said, many of the benefits come up to a year after people have attended the programme, because this is about personal development. Who uses the programme? Private sector, education sector, NHS, government departments, police services, local government and voluntary sector. I've run Springboard programmes in most of those different areas, and I can assure you it works for all of them. And indeed, somewhat surprisingly for the developers of Springboard, they've found that Springboard has been taken up by people in a wide range of countries around the world. Some very different cultures represented there, and the work that's been done recently by Jenny Daisley in Saudi Arabia and the Yemen is particularly impressive. So, a little more information about Springboard in Oxford. Again, there's the dates of the workshops, the venue, and a bit about booking and the cost. The cost includes your Springboard workbook, lunch and all refreshments on all 4 days of the workshops. And the price, we have several different prices here because of the date that you book. So we've got a very early bird discount up to the end of February. Excuse me, I'm just going to cough. Which is £440 plus VAT. I'd like you to think about that if you are having to pay for yourself in terms of the value that you get for it. You may already be aware that it's not unusual for a one-day course to cost as much as that, and you have here 4 full workshops and the workbook, and the cost to you, well, it's probably less than you might spend on a holiday, the effects of which last for, what, a month at the most, whereas people do say that Springboard changed their life. So I hope you'll see that the value of the cost there. Then if you book between the 1st and the 28th of March, we have the early bird discount, and after the 28th of March, the full price of £500 plus VAT. Still extremely good value for 4 full workshops and the support that you get in between. If you are an individual who will need to pay for yourself and you are on a low income, do get in touch with me. I do every year have some people who accept discounted places which are much further discounted, and I have them available to people in that situation. So do get in touch with me if that applies to you. Right, any questions then? So you have the opportunity to write in questions in the box that you have, and if you would like to also speak about the questions, I can also unmute you. So I'll just give you a moment to think about whether you have any questions, and you could indicate there on the question panel. Anybody got any questions? I have got some. I've got some frequently asked questions that I'm going to show you. Sorry, I'm just hesitating a bit because I'm trying to fiddle with the controls on this system. Nobody at the moment is indicating that they have a question. Okay. So if nobody has a specific question, I'll go on and talk about the questions that other people have asked me in the past, and that might be helpful to you. Sometimes people ask me, how much time do I need to give to the workbook? Well, we have a very rough guideline on that, which is about 3 hours a week, and that's if you're going to do everything in the workbook there is to do. It certainly isn't 3 hours all in one go. It's actually better if you read the workbook for half an hour and then go off to work and think about it and come home and fill in the exercise afterwards, because some of the things need you to think about them. So it's spaced out during the time that you've got. You may find that you don't need as long as that for some sections, and as I said, if you don't find you're able to give as much time as that, you can always go back to it afterwards. So it's never a major problem, but the more time you can give to it, the more you'll get out of it. Who will the speakers be? Well, I invite people from different organisations and sometimes people who are working for themselves, and they have people I know who have a varied background, so that we can get as much different input from real individuals as we can. What happens in the workshops is something that people sometimes ask as well. What we're doing in the workshops is a mixture of teaching, small group discussion, a variety of different activities that you take part in, and sharing ideas, all to help draw out what you personally need, but also to enable you to have the support and sharing the experiences with your colleagues on the workshops. A number of the activities are fun, people enjoy doing them, and usually people find that the day goes quite quickly. You certainly aren't sitting listening to me for much of the time. I give you some input and then we do something with it. I'm coming with a friend or a colleague. Will we be in the same group? Certainly I will talk with you about whether you have somebody that you work very closely with, and therefore I will try to make sure that you are separated from them when that is significant, and that's always something that we've not had any difficulty with in the past. If there are a number of you from the same company, then obviously I may not be able to put you all in completely different groups, but then we usually find that people are not always working very closely with people who are from the same organisation. It's certainly something we pay attention to and we can cater for. What happens if I cannot come to one of the workshops? Well, if you can't come to the first workshop, I'm afraid that does mean that you need to drop out of the programme, because we do so much on that first workshop in setting up groups and buddy coaching and introducing the programme that we feel that it is difficult to catch up from that. But if there is one other workshop that you can't come to, then I will support you in being able to catch up. You can be in touch with your group and your coaching buddy, and I will give you some input to help you to make up what you've missed. It's not ideal if you can't come to one of the workshops, but we can get over it, I think is the message. Certainly it's important that you let your employer know that all of these workshops are relevant and important, and it is certainly going to enable you to get the best out of the programme if you come to all the workshops. And then lastly, how can I persuade my manager to pay for this? Well, I hope that in what I've been saying to you during the webinar and the information I've given you about the survey shows you that there are lots of reasons why your manager will benefit if you come on the Springboard program, and we have lots of feedback from managers in organisations to that effect. So if you are wanting to persuade your manager, I'm going to show you in a minute some sources of information that you can have from the website. I've also got some notes for managers, and I'm very happy to talk to managers on the phone if they want to discuss with me what you're going to get out of it. These are the other sources of information. The one on the left is the main Springboard brochure for organisations, and that you can download from my website. And on the right I have my brochure about this specific course in Oxford, which you can download as PDF, send around to anyone you know might be interested, and that gives you all the details. You can only see the front page of it there, but it also gives you the cost and other information on the back about the venue. That's the URL for those. And finally then, just a summary of the dates for the Oxford programme, also the URL for online booking and information. Online booking is available to you. It gives you the early bird discounts. If you are an individual who is on a low income and wants to talk to me about the further discounted places, do please email me in the first instance. We don't have that as an option on online booking. And also, if you have a number of people in an organisation who want to come on the programme, I can give a further 10% discount according to when you are actually booking the course, on whichever price is relevant at the time, for the 6th participant and subsequent participants. Sorry, can't say participants now. So you would need to email me about that as well. My contact details are down the bottom there. Very happy to answer your questions by email, or to give you a call or talk to you on the phone if you'd like to discuss the suitability of Springboard, either for yourself or for a member of your staff. Okay, that's the end of the webinar. I hope you found it useful. Do contact me if you want any further information. You will be sent a link to a recording of the webinar so that you can listen to it again or pass it on to someone else. That recording will also be available for download from my website after you have received your prompt to it. So that'll be from tomorrow. Thank you very much for coming on this webinar. I look forward to hearing from you.